A very good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us for the weekly roundup edition of the Lunchtime News. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark, and without further ado, I'm going to take you through the stories that made headlines within this week. And we start off with the release of the examinations. The Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, stressed the need for higher education institutions to urgently review their respective curriculums to be able to accommodate students taught under the competence-based curriculum. She was officiating the release of the examinations at State House Nakasero in Kampala. At least 99% of the candidates who sat for the Uganda Advanced Certificate of Education examinations reportedly qualified for the award of a certificate, with 65.5% qualifying for admission to university and 86.2% for tertiary institutions. More details in the report.
Yes.
Uganda National Examinations Board and Ministry of Education and Sports have released the 2024 Uganda Advanced Certificate of Education examinations. According to the results, candidates who appeared for the examinations were 140,888 compared to 109,486 who sat in 2023, registering an increase in candidature of 31,402, that is 28.7%. The Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, said it is important that the increase in candidature is scientifically and logically explained to enable government to know the good efforts that need to be made better and also do away with investments that are of little to no value in secondary education. She urged higher education institutions to review their respective curricula for initial teaching and learning now that the A-level curriculum has been aligned to the lower secondary curriculum by making it competency-based.
Mismatch where universities continue to graduate teachers who cannot utilize competence-based and learner-centered curricula is undesirable. Therefore, for this mismatch to be cured, in the universities and higher education institutions, the academic staff who train the teachers must also realign their learning delivery methods to become competence-based and learner-centered. You have heard the Executive Director of UNEB say that the 2024 UACE examination revealed that learners struggled with relating the concepts they are learning in sciences with what happens in the students' everyday life. This problem was not only observed in the science subjects, but also the humanities, such as economics and entrepreneurship. These shortcomings that UNEB has ably pointed out are exactly what the government is attempting to cure by embarking on reforms in the teaching profession and curricula for secondary education curricula. In other words, curricular reforms that the Ministry of Education and Sports introduced at O-level in 2020 have a direct effect on the curricula used in higher education to train students pursuing a career in the teaching profession in Uganda.
Results indicate that female candidates performed proportionally better than their male counterparts. Their percentage passes at upper levels, principal pass 3 and 2, are higher. The performance in large entry principal level subjects indicate that at principal pass level A to E, there is improvements in economics, literature in English, physics and biology.
When we look at history, for females, at least 7.9% got A. This compares to 7.0 for the males. And overall, those that got principal passes for females, we have 93.3 against 90.2 for the males. History, for instance, 7.5% of all the candidates got A. And then 91.9% of the candidates passed with a principal pass, E and above. And then if you take those that also passed with a subsidiary level pass, we have a pass rate of 98.7. In history, for example, inadequate critical thinking skills limited the candidate's ability to analyze historical views. The national constitution is a major reference material in one of the papers in the subject of history. And the candidates who offered this paper exhibited very limited exposure to the constitution.
The Executive Director, Uganda National Examinations Board, Daniel Dong, says a very high percentage of candidates qualified for the award of the UACE certificate, just as was in 2023. Under the current regulations, a candidate requires a subsidiary level pass in a principal level subject to qualify. The
principal level passes as a minimum requirement. And Mama, if this consideration is maintained, 92,273 or 65.5% will qualify to be admitted, compared to 80,816, that is 73.8% in 2023. The pass levels are considered, Mama, for admission to other tertiary institutions. Then we have 121,506 or 86.2% of our candidates who will qualify for admission.
The chairperson, Uganda National Examinations Board, Professor Celestino Obua, said although the numbers of candidates offering STEM subjects has continued to increase, the numbers are still below those offering humanities. Yet sciences are needed to spur Uganda's technological progress.
Efforts must therefore be made to increase the numbers of students offering mathematics and sciences to create the pool from which tertiary institutions can select students for the various science programs. One of the ways, Mama, is to continue to improve on the pass levels, which is being implemented by improving adequacy of science teaching and learning materials in many of our schools.
Our children now know and are quite involved. So that's why we see this trend that is coming up and continuing. Nonetheless, we still recognize that there is still room for improvement in learner performance, in sciences and mathematics. Best practices in STEM education point us to the fact that the way sciences and mathematics are taught needs to change. This change starts with a teacher changing his or her attitude toward STEM and how it ought to be taught.
According to UNEP, cases of malpractice have remained low at this level, and in this exam, cases were reported from 38 centers out of the 2,255 centers. Some of the observations from examiners include poor syllabus coverage, which was evidenced by poor responses to questions from several topics by candidates from many centers. Geography is one of the subjects with a decline in performance. I'm Nafka Farida and Abdunasir Wama in Kampala.
Uganda and South Africa earlier this week discussed agreements on the visa waiver aimed at strengthening bilateral trade and fostering better relations between the two countries. Paul Amoru, Uganda's High Commissioner to South Africa, emphasized that the visa waiver will facilitate smoother business interactions and promote enhanced people-to-people exchanges. More details in this report.
So we thank you that you've been able to facilitate our officers to operate in that very good environment. A number of issues that you brought up, Excellency, you talked about the fake websites, which are on the internet, and we have agreed that.
We are pleased to say the technical team at the Ministry of Internal Affairs, the ministers under their leadership were able to facilitate intense discussions with their counterparts from Home Affairs in South Africa. And an MOU was developed, discussed. We have had high-level technical exchange visits, and as we speak, the MOU on immigration management is awaiting for signing. So this MOU has many aspects. It has issues on visa waiver, but it also has many other issues on information sharing. We have issues on training and building capacity of immigration officers and many others. So what we had today is a routine engagement between our mission and the many MDAs in tracking the following issues. Number one, we have several MOUs that have already been signed, but we don't want them to stay on the shelves gathering dust. So we have created a matrix that enables us to track the implementation of these MOUs, to understand any challenges that may arise, and make sure that we are able to achieve what we commit to achieve in these MOUs. So that is very critical.
The Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament Anita Among earlier this week called on ambassadors from Islamic states to champion legislative frameworks and social justice to promote peace, cooperation and mutual understanding among nations. She made these remarks during a meeting with a delegation of ambassadors from member states of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, that is OIC, to discuss matters related to bilateral relations, interparliamentary diplomacy and economic cooperation between Uganda and these states.
With the aim of strengthening international diplomacy with other states, the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Anita Among, met with a delegation of ambassadors from member states of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. The discussion focused on bilateral relations, interparliamentary diplomacy, and economic cooperation between Uganda and these states. Among the delegates were the High Commissioner of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, His Excellency Muhammad Wazil, the Ambassador of the Republic of Sudan, His Excellency Ahmed Ibrahim, the High Commissioner of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Ambassador John Shamashaga, the Ambassador of the Republic of Somalia, ambassadors from Saudi Arabia, the Ambassador of Iran, and the Sharawi Arab Democratic Republic.
Is to thank you for being good friends, for the good support you've given to this country, and for the solidarity.
Right Honourable Speaker Anita Among encouraged the ambassadors from Islamic states to champion legislative frameworks and social justice in order to promote peace, cooperation and mutual understanding among nations.
The Parliament of Uganda is cognizant of the reality that legislature can no longer work in isolation of the international community of legislatures. The interparliamentary cooperation is the future for parliamentary diplomacy. We need to work together with your parliaments for us to be able to understand what happens in your country and what happens in our country.
She further praised the Arab states for their support when she passed the anti-homosexuality bill, emphasizing the protection of African norms and culture.
We were rejected. We had all those trials, tribulations. We were rejected, humiliated, but you stood by me because you believe in our values, you believe in our traditions.
The leader of the Muslim Parliamentary Caucus, Honourable Sumani Basalirwa, noted that while the number of Muslims in Parliament remains low, there is strong unity and support from non-Muslims colleagues.
Uganda And we want to thank the Speaker, the Parliament of Uganda, and the Clerk for offering us facilities in this Parliament to practice our Islam.
Delegates remain optimistic that this engagement will yield fruitful results.
I think Parliament has a very important role to play with us as embassies in order to strengthen bilateral relations in general.
And yes, Sudan is very active in the parliamentary level in Africa, in the region. And thank you also for stand with Sudan in this critical time.
The Speaker also welcomed all Muslims to the Iftari dinner, which will be held on Friday 22nd of this month at Parliament. Suzanne Nabugude, Gloria Gutabinji, for UBC News.
The Uganda Police Force earlier this week was in Parliament seeking for an additional 190 billion shillings to meet its operational costs and arrears for the running financial year 2024-2025. While defending the proposed supplementary to the Budget Committee of Parliament, the accounting officer, Uganda Police Force, Agre Wunyi, says this is to cater for crime investigations, utilities, welfare of police officers and vehicles. However, some members on the committee on the recurring shortfalls are blaming the police for not being diligent with the details.
Northeast member.
Different ministries, departments and agencies are showing calls for the supplementary budget expenditure for the running financial year 2024-2025 to the Budget Committee of Parliament.
Makerere University, Kampala, MUBS. Shillings 5 billion is required for shortfalls on educational materials, support to research and support to gender and equity interventions.
Kampala Capital City Authority has defended its 6.711 billion that is to cater for the shortfalls in the city cleaners' wages,
resulting from increase in the number of workers and new terms of reference for the cleaners.
The Ministry of Science and Technology is also seeking for an additional 60 billion that is required to complete Coffee Value Additional Park. The initiative is to be conducted by a private company, Inspire Africa. This raised concerns in the committee, tasking the ministry to provide details of the process of valuation and legalization with this company.
And what is the nexus between Government of Uganda and Inspire Africa?
The biggest challenge, the biggest cause is the lack of adequate resources at the time of budget.
Yes.
The Uganda Police Force also defended the 190 billion shillings supplementary that is to cater for crime investigations, utilities, welfare of police officers and vehicles. However, some members on the committee cautioned the accounting officer, Agre Wunyi, that the department did not include funds for cyber crimes, which are on an increase.
Now, cyber crime has increased totally, and that even Bank of Uganda, as you are aware, and MPs, we are losing a lot of money. So where is the provision for cyber crime?
The operational shortfalls on which we requested a supplementary provision are the ones where we have perennially faced an issue with arrears, and therefore we had reached a level where suppliers were not willing to deal with police, and it was going to curtail the operations of police.
The committee also warned the Finance Ministry on recurring shortfalls.
Continue to see every year we budget, and then you come up with supplementary issues that we think should have been actually very important in the main budget. They continue to come. So where is this going to end? I think we always struggle to find all the resources required to balance the budget at appropriation. And some of the items which remain unfunded in that process and cannot be avoided during execution, we take them on through this window.
Other entities that defended their budget supplementary include NARO, that seeks 10 billion shillings for the rollout of anti-tick vaccines, Chirudu National Referral Hospital that seeks 2 billion shillings to cater for the increased number of patients. Lydia Chomkama and Gloria Gutabinji, Parliament.
Residents of Mutungo in Kampala have continued to protest against the construction of a wall fence in what most of them say is a road reserve. They accuse Shaban Kwesiga of disregarding city plans to erect a wall fence on Amka Road, whose boundaries most of them say they have known years for as long as they have lived. This has prompted authorities to swing into action, with the mayor for Nakawa Division, Paul Mugambe, halting any further construction. We have the details.
This was Shaban Kwesiga explaining to the people and leaders of Mutungo how he acquired this piece of land.
Mama baba Joshua yali. Owulira? Era mwami Kigundo oyo mulaba. Yali asomba material. Mama baba Joshua yampita. Nangamba haji mbadde njagala kuyisa wano ewuwo material. Naye waliwo omuyembe guno tukoze tutya. Otegeera? Natwala obuvunanyizibwa n'entebe omuyembe.
The explanation was not earning a warm reception to the ears of many.
Buli muntu yagulanga poloti wano bamulaga nti bakutemako kwero singo sigaze kubuli emmotoka tebagulaga nga lya bigere
nga ate oluguudo lwalwambibwa bulungi ne KCCA lumanyi ne UNRA lumanyi kyokka yazimbyemu wakuba ennyumba ano zimenyeddwa.
This disagreement originated from the fact that these residents physically witnessed this. The construction of a wall fence in a road reserve under police protection. The road in question is Amka Road. Its existence and boundaries are well known to the authorities. Present in the meeting was the mayor for Nakawa Division, Paul Mugambe. Overwhelmed, he ordered for halting of the entire exercise of wall construction.
Erimu ebituli yandibanga sintufu yandibanga njingirire nenjigoba era mu kiseera kino kye tusazeewo ekikomera kiveewo kyabadde azimba era kiri mu kuvaawo tuli mu kukijjawo.
To the relief of locals, the structure was partly demolished.
Ekintu kyewalaba ng'oli mwana muto myaka 13 nga ndi wano tumaze emyaka 27.
The success of this protest clearly defines a situation of resistance and resilience overcoming impunity.
Teachers of French and French specialists have called upon school owners and parents to allow and promote French language in their schools and also allow students to do the language due to its diverse opportunities. This call was made at Namiryango College in Seta during the celebration of the Francophone Month. Let's take a look.
The leaders or the school owners understand the globalization that we are facing now, and they know the importance of French. But we have some school heads that don't understand that at all. They see the French language as a wastage of money and resources, so they are not eager to invest in it. They're not eager to employ teachers of French. They do not understand that our classes may be a little smaller, especially in A level. So they are not eager to pay a teacher to teach, for example, 10 students. So that is the biggest challenge, and teachers are facing it really rough to sustain the language in some schools.
Just want to appeal to the parents and the owners of schools
to, even if Uganda is not a francophone country, there is a secret in French, and they don't know what they are missing. So when students are making their choices, usually some parents have a tendency of misguiding them and telling them that maybe French will not be applied anywhere here. But for us who have studied it and reached the high levels, we know what we are enjoying. So I encourage all parents and the school owners to embrace French and to tell their learners to choose French.
Today is the day when we celebrate Francophone Day. Francophone Day it's actually a month, the month of March and April. We celebrate the existence of the French language in Uganda. To be better organized, we organize it according to regions. So today is the day that we chose to celebrate it in Mukono region. So all schools in Mukono that do French have gathered here. Days like this give a platform to students to do what they may not be able to do in class.
These activities which are going throughout the month. And for us, we think this is an opportunity for us as teachers of French to sensitize this young generation about the importance of learning an international language. We also use it as an opportunity to give career guidance, to guide learners. What should I be able to do if I know another language like French? Later on, if I'm a journalist, how is French going to help me? So we are trying to show them the importance of bilingualism, if not multilingualism.
These days are important because it shows how we celebrate, the day using the French language, which unites different cultures, diverse cultures. So it shows the language is used to bridge the gap between cultures, and the language is actually a language of connection. It connects people. You see, there are so many schools that came around, and they were all speaking the French language. They were eating in French. They were chatting, interacting in French. They were networking in French. That is the beauty of this day.
This event enables me to understand that French opens doors, because they tell us that étudier une nouvelle langue, découvrir le monde, study a new language and discover the world. So this event has opened the opportunities for me to see that French as a language, the international language, can help me in various ways.
Makerere University Business School recently hosted its Third Languages Festival 2025 under the theme Global Ambassadors with Local Roots, promoting related language diversity. The event aimed at celebrating multilingualism and cultural exchange, and it also attracted dignitaries, academicians, and students from various institutions.
The Principal Makerere Business School, Professor Moses Muwezi, says the influence in foreign languages strengthens trade relations, particularly with economic powerhouses like China.
Today, we have a languages festival at Makerere University Business School that involves students and staff and the public to create awareness that languages are very important for business, for culture, for development of a country. At the business school, we teach Kiswahili, we teach business French, we teach German, we teach Chinese, and we are starting Arabic. These languages are very important for development of business, for development of culture, for the creation of identity.
The head of the Department of Business Languages and International Relations, Dr. Mutungo Abe, says there are plans to establish a dedicated language center at MUBS. The center will offer courses in Chinese, German, Swahili, Arabic, and French, catering to both students and business professionals.
We are happy to see you at this function. So we are here for the Third Business Languages Festival, as we promised when we were launching. And here we have students from who are offering different languages: Swahili, German, French, Arabic, and the others, and even the local languages. So they are here to showcase how they can use languages in business in their day-to-day life.
The festival brought together students, lecturers and international partners in a celebration of language diversity, culture and business opportunities. It featured interactive sessions, cultural performances and panel discussions, all reinforcing the power of language in connecting people across borders.
I'd also like to add that languages play a big role in internationalization of a person and of their skill. As we teach our students, we are aware that they can work anywhere in the world, and with an added language, as a student or a worker can be able to work anywhere in the world, or they can be a liaison for that country for the language that they speak. So teaching languages and business gives a student that extra skill above all others who can only speak the local languages.
Language Festival is one of the events that we hold as a business school to help the students who take the different languages, especially Kiswahili, French, German and Arabic, to be able to demonstrate what they have learned in the different courses in the languages. Languages are very, very important because they enable us to be able to be part of the global village. They give us the ability to be able to communicate in business, in the workspaces, and in our daily lives.
I'm really glad that we have carried out an event, which is the Languages Festival today. We have celebrated this day just because languages are key in whatever we do, let it be business, let it be education, and any other transaction that we do. So the school has organized this to see how we can celebrate and cherish our languages, because we need them in communication, we need them in transaction, not only in the university but even outside in the community.
The Uganda National Examinations Board released the 2024 Senior 6 results with a call for stronger emphasis on science, technology, engineering and mathematics, commonly known as STEM subjects. UNEB Chairperson Celestine Obua urged the government to invest more resources in these fields to enhance national development.
Uganda National Examination Board has called for stronger emphasis on science, technology, engineering and mathematics, commonly known as STEM subjects. One institution that has embraced this call is Crested Secondary School in Machindye, which recorded a 100% pass rate in science subjects. Canon Lydia Ibinjira, the school's principal, attributed this success to a strong culture of academic excellence and continuous investment in science education.
I think it becomes like a tradition. Crested has been known for passing sciences so well, and I attribute it to the director, who is a scientist. He emphasizes on making sure that sciences are very well done. We got the first one has 20 points. He got all the points in the combination of biology, chemistry and math. And then even the second one is the scientist with 19 and many others with 18 points, both arts and sciences. So we thank God the performance was very good. And as if that is not enough, 80% of our students have 3 principal passes, meaning they all qualify very well to go to the universities.
Students at the school also expressed their excitement, attributing their performance to a conducive learning environment, dedicated teachers, and access to modern learning resources.
I'm so delighted because I'm very happy. The reason as to why I've passed very well, for sure that we have read very hard. We read very hard and we thank God because the things were somehow tough, but we managed to score with my friends. We all passed, the school passed very well. We are delighted as a school. We want to thank our parents and our teachers.
We are here so happy as you see our friends. We have all excelled well in our exams. I managed to score 16 points. Yeah. First and foremost, I want to thank Allah. I want to thank Allah that has enabled us pass our exams. Then next, our teachers, our parents for paying school fees and praying for us always.
I'm so happy with my friends that we've performed. I've got 17 points, and the reason why we managed to pass was our teachers. They tried to push us hard. We finished the syllabuses early and we managed to read, even get time to read. I want to thank our teachers, and most of all, I want to thank God for enabling us pass.
With the emphasis on STEM education growing, education stakeholders continue to urge both the government and schools to adopt innovative teaching methods and provide students with the necessary tools to excel in science-related fields. As the country moves towards a more technology-driven economy, the focus on STEM education remains a top priority for both educators and policymakers.
The Alliance Francaise recently hosted a nationwide job fair connecting over 30 French companies with university graduates proficient in both English and French. CEOs from the participating companies provided valuable mentorship, guiding graduates on how to refine their CVs and enhance their career prospects. They also shared advice on how to maximize their potential in the job market.
Uganda National Examination Board has called for stronger emphasis on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, commonly known as STEM subjects. One institution.
The Alliance Francaise has hosted a nationwide job fair connecting over 30 French companies with university graduates proficient in both English and French.
Recruitments for Planet Systems that is undertaken. I know we have multiple recruitments that are taking place in NGOs. I will give an example of a Norwegian Refugee Council.
When it comes to schools, right, they have the degrees. But what I believe is most important is the attitude, right? And today the key message that I'm giving the young people, instead of wasting time, most of the time on social medias, is good for them to build their soft skills, for example, right?
This was at an event where graduates who had previously benefited from other job fairs encouraging their peers to give their best and take full advantage of the abundant opportunities available.
Still on the program. I think I have about 5 months to end the program. It's a 2-year program, yeah. And as and when there are opportunities, if the program is ending, the CFAO can always take you on. If there is an opportunity at the time, yes.
The graduate training program for 6 months before, and then after I got retained, so now I'm on a permanent contract thanks to the state fair. Congratulations. And how I got to know about the job fair was through, first I was studying German at Goethe Zentrum, which is in the same building as the land.
The fair presented a wide range of career opportunities, especially in roles like sales executive and marketing positions. Graduates with outstanding skills are poised to pursue those roles eagerly. Bantu Machabe Semambo, UBC News.
Furthermore, stakeholders to the Tumaini Peace Initiative have raised concern over the current political and security situation in South Sudan. They call for peaceful dialogue, and they also call upon the broader international community to implement the peace agreement. More details in the report.
We have been losing lives for decades. Our people have been dying.
On the 4th of March 2025, a Nuer militia with ties to Riek Machar, a former rebel leader who is now first vice president, captured an army base in Nasir, a major town on the South Sudan-Ethiopia border. Machar accuses the army under President Salva Kiir of launching attacks on his forces in nearby Ulang County on 25th February 2025, as well as on his loyalists in 2 other parts of the country's west. Tension in the capital Juba is sky high.
IGAD, African Union, UN, Troika, and the broader international community to step up diplomatic and political engagement with all parties to implement the peace agreement and avoid inflammatory actions that can return the country to war.
So recently, when the tension now started rising again, as from this year, from January, starting from Western Equatoria to Western Barghazal, and then finally here now to Nasir, the church leaders, through the Sudan Council of Churches, met each one of them, met President Salva Kiir separately and gave him a letter. I'm sure you must have come across that statement on the 6th of March, and also met Dr. Riek Machar, first vice president. What they have not yet done is to bring them together, and that's why in our statement read to you this morning, we are urging the IGAD head of states to come and hold a meeting in Juba. Perhaps then they will meet. So that is what we are hoping.
The interest of the people of South Sudan is peace. That is what we want. In the peace agreement, the RRCs, the region and the regional leaders have been given a role as guarantors. This is a big, huge role. And as guarantors, our expectation as citizens of South Sudan is that they will be take lead also in ensuring that the parties to the agreement actually implement the peace agreement.
The concern raised by stakeholders of the Tumaini Peace Initiative was that the revitalized agreement on the resolution of the conflict in the Republic of South Sudan has continuously been violated.
We express concern over the continued violation of the revitalized agreement on the resolutions of the conflict in the Republic of South Sudan, in bracket RRCs, which is demonstrated by the growing political tensions, armed confrontations, intercommunal violence, violations of the revitalized agreement on the resolution of the conflict in the Republic of South Sudan, RRCs, and the spread of violence in several parts of our country, particularly Nasser, Ulang counties of Upper Nile, Western Equatoria, Central Equatoria, and Western Bahr Ghazal states.
In a joint statement after their 43rd Extraordinary Assembly held on Wednesday over the South Sudan situation, the leaders say they are deeply concerned by the resurgence of violence and violations of the ceasefire commitments.
Fishmongers at Arua Central Market are prepared to welcome Secretary General of the National Resistance Movement Party, Richard Odwong. They want to present challenges that they face as fishmongers to the Secretary General with aims of channeling the message to the NRM party chairman and the President of Uganda, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. On the 22nd of this month, Odwong is coming to Arua City on invitation by the West Effort for Museveni Group to celebrate 25 years of existence as a mobilization group for NRM.
Youth to support us. Youths, they are here in a rational market. Elders, they are here. Other youths, they were thieves. Right now, we have bring them here. They are working together. That thing they have lived.
I thank even our president. He have already built for us our market. Even we want to demand our president and our secretary, who is coming soon here in Arua, to help us to give us support.
Poto uti na Congo, to sepeli na ndako papa Museveni atongeli biso awa hapo na kotia awa. Pe atiki biso librement ndenge tozo tambola moto na kotungisa biso na nzela azate. Nzambe atombola maboko na ye kokende liboso azonga simate tika pe biso te apesa biso basi ya Congo. Totambola libre moto na kotungisa biso azala te parce que tozo kolisa bana na biso na musala muke muke tozo sala kosomba somba mbisi pa na bandeko na biso.
Coming of Right Honorable Richard Odwong, the Secretary General of the mighty party NRM government. So we are fully prepared to welcome him in Arua City, and we have to say that we are blessed for this visit.
This coming of the Right Honorable SG, Richard Odwong, is an opportunity for the young people and women to come and voice their concerns to the party. And remember, as the SG, he is the administrator of the mighty party that is called NRM. So this is the only opportunity for them to come and interact with him, voice their concerns to him, because some of these concerns need direct interaction with the powers that be.
The Islamic University in Uganda, a student leadership transition has taken center stage, but not without concern over recent incidents of electoral violence. University administrators have strongly condemned acts of beating and torture witnessed during the election for the Kawempe North seat. As a new leadership was sworn in at IUIU, officials emphasized the need for integrity and fairness in leadership.
Today we have been swearing in a new government of the Guild. The nature of politics which we are running in our university is based on students' merit, where they can be able to articulate what they are going to do for their colleagues, and therefore the students have the opportunity to elect them on the basis of their own merit. As I have mentioned in the other language, we do not allow political parties to come in here and influence students' elections. We want students' politics to remain student politics. And the brand of our politics is that it is democratic. We want our students to be able to learn the practices of democracy.
Allow me also to appreciate and also thank each one of you that supported us in the previous elections. We are really honored. Thank you so much. Then conclusively, we are requesting for your cooperation. You see, people think that when they elect you or appoint you to a certain office, you're the one that is supposed to do each and everything in that office.
This position is not just a personal milestone, but a result of the collective efforts, support, and trust from those who believed in me and elected me to power. First and foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to the outgoing leadership team, the Malay government. Thank you so much for your dedication and services. I'm honored to have the opportunity to serve under your guidance, and truly look forward to work closely with you so that the entire Islamic University Kampala campus students continue to thrive both academically and spiritually.
Work as teams, don't work as individuals, and at the same time be role models, don't be leaders, who again we are here before disciplinary committee as said, but we have a lot of confidence in you that one will not happen.
We ask him to protect this because this is the genesis of his power. So that has to talk this.
Come on, mo pocket, tambula about the street, issues are my target. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. I'm in a plantation, but on a global mission, internet ambition, full condition. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. Oro cash is gone, netaga yo kaloni, niga mukafoni, money in the zone. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. We are good.
With you and MTN together, our ambition is unstoppable.
We are what? Unstoppable!
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels and many others for home comfort. With every every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Osmosis again. Osmosis tried to pay. Money wasn't enough. He checked every pocket. Money wasn't enough. Osi, we're sorting it. With the momo, we're sorting it. Osmosis checked again. Money still not enough. He looked everywhere. Hey, but what is going on? Osi, we're sorting it. With the momo, we're sorting it.
When your money is not enough, we're sorting it with MTN Momo. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# to add call with Momo Advance and pay bills, send money or buy bundles.
Welcome back. You're still watching the weekly news roundup edition of the Lunchtime News, the story that brings you those stories that made headlines within the week. Local government internal auditors have cited poor remuneration as a major hindrance to service delivery in the system. Jinja RCC Richard Gulume told auditors best in Jinja to channel their grievances through their political leaders and equally to be vigilant in fighting corruption, especially in the District Service Commission. This is a report we had for you.
Even engage your political leaders to these areas. You move on borders. How will we want to respect you when you are arriving at the border? I'm a primary teacher. You are going to audit your spouse his car there. How? To be very honest, how do you expect an auditor will come on the border? The first thing the teacher will say, let me pay for your border fare. Hey, border, come here, I'm taking care of that. But these are not laughing matters, it's a serious issue.
Many of these auditors are covering a very big area. Just take an example. Jinja has over 200 square kilometers. Personal incomes are also raised through doing different works that boost their revenue and incomes, so that they also don't depend too much on begging on for like transport and facilitation, much as we are supposed to provide.
Well, that's not true. The moment starts from where most of you are deployed to do. And that's the challenge that you must do, and that's where you must have the impact as internal auditors to see that local governments can have the efficiency, and you can advise as well as assure the accounting officers to ensure that organizations can achieve their objectives.
The performance of district service commissions, and you are in districts. What are you saying? Nobody has rang me as a commissioner in charge of district inspection by saying, Mr. Commissioner, I think this recruitment process is ongoing, but there are irregularities here. What can we do? The advice may not be popular, but it is honest. If it is to safeguard resources for another entity, please do so.
Personal incomes are also raised through doing different works that boost their revenue and incomes, so that they also don't depend too much on begging on for like transport and facilitation, much as we are supposed to provide.
And that brings us to the end of our weekly news roundup edition of the Lunchtime News. Thank you for being a lovely audience. Do stay tuned for more news in our subsequent bulletins. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark.